Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. But with that being said, of course, I have been reiterating all morning long, or I shouldn't even say morning, but afternoon long, that we are still awaiting Bitcoin to have that crucial, strength above 44K to really solidify us continuing to, ride the momentum wave to 50K plus. The problem here is that, of course, Bitcoin has been continuing to reject off of 44K, and the issue with that is that we are awaiting this repetitive moment in time, going back as far as August, or even going back as far as September, when we went to break out of 44K and essentially rejected off of this. Now, it wasn't as bad of a move back here. I mean, realistically speaking, this was roughly about, a 10% drop in price. If we have yet again a 10% drop roughly, it brings us to about 39.4K, almost 39.5K, which is totally fine. In fact, I actually kind of expect that same price movement. That's why I have this nice rectangle over here, which leads us to about 39.6K roughly. Now, I'm watching that level yet again because we could be seeing some major price action on QNT to the downside as well. The problem here is that I don't want us to lose $145. In fact, we're at this crucial point where we had a slight wick below it, but we are holding this level slightly here. We are still seeing some diminished volume here. We want more volume in currently so that we could break above, of course, the $180 level, like roughly this level here, which will begin sort of that nice sideways trading that we did back here yet again. I told you guys this in my video from yesterday on QNT. We are just awaiting the next major uptrend on QNT that could push us well above $200. But again, it's going to take a little bit of time, especially if Bitcoin is going to range on here or possibly have that nice rejection off of 44K and have that one last major drop. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying, if we have that, major drop, we could come down and even test, some lows, aka 34.9K, come down and make a newer low. If we make a newer low, I'm just going to say it right now, it's going to be rough to get us back into nice price action. So I do believe that on this next major dropping point, I don't think it's going to be too rough. I think that we are going to be testing this demand zone from around 38.2 to about 40.7K. Again, QNT will most likely have a breach of this support zone and come down and test possibly $110 yet again. It's hard to say exactly where we are going to test. Maybe we'll test the support going back to August, which would be around like $130 roughly, which is totally fine, and I honestly will welcome that. And again, I just want you to all understand that we are continuing to watch the indices this week. We have been seeing some nice price action on all three, so this is also good. This tells us that there's not too much to be worried about currently. Of course, we have to watch these over time and, of course, keep up to date with the news. I usually don't like to watch the news, but there's just been a lot of conflict with Russia lately, so we have to watch that because that could be a catalyst for major price action. So, of course, with all that in mind, let's move on and let's talk about some price action for QNT that is not kind of centered around Bitcoin. Let's actually talk more so about some utility stuff and also some cool updates within, of course, the Quant ecosystem. So first and foremost, we do see here last time this happened, QNT did a 10x. Just in QNT, Quant Network is back on top 10 purchased tokens by 1,000 biggest Ethereum whales. Analysts of the top 100 QNT holders. And we actually see here, I want to say this is 7,000, or is this 7 million? It's kind of confusing on how they have this here, but of course you guys could see over here, here's the name of the top 10 coins, and of course the average purchase amount, and of course average token quantity. And we do see QNT at around roughly $7,286 the average purchase amount was, and of course 50 was the average token quantity as well. There has been a lot of buying happening for QNT. In fact, we do see our Ethereum whale Lite just bought 49,999 QNT, worth about 7.2 almost $7.3 million. I assume that this is almost $4 million. I might be wrong on that. It's kind of confusing on how they have that set up. But of course, this is huge in terms of large whale buying. We have not yet, and also I just want you all to understand that this is over time. This is an accumulation of over time purchased at around, these prices. But also, we need a lot more volume here. But we do see a lot of accumulation happening for QNT around these levels, which tells me that we are going to see some nice price action. But of course, these individuals know more than us. They can manipulate the market a little bit easier because they have the amount of funds to do so. So realistically speaking, they could sell, rebuy. We never really know what's going to happen, but all we know currently is that we are breaking above some key resistance levels. Holding this level would be crucial for us. And of course, if we do continue this upward trend, these buys that these whales are buying are going to be huge wins for them, especially short term and even long term. And of course, what prices are we talking about? Well, first off, my fib outreach is currently from our levels that we are in now. So let me 1 second. Let me make sure that these. I think this is the reverse fib scale. 1 second. Okay, so our fib outreach extensions take us well beyond $1,000. In fact, we see us reaching to around $1,900 from our current fib levels. But if we are looking, onward and outward into the future on QNT, we do see some nice waves here. Wave 5 specifically is $3,165. We look here and we see we can now assume QNT is in a new impulse wave. Wave 1 began at $83. If we use the similar percentage as the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse wave from last spring/summer, this would be the results. And this is actually pretty significant in terms of price action. I also do believe that this is fairly solid in terms of where we can go. Now, I just want to say, if we are talking about the price per QNT, I think that when we're talking about $3,100 being the max for us, first off, I think that that's a fairly conservative price, but I also think that it is a logical price. Because if we are talking about that in market cap value, now I don't like to go off of market cap too much here, but of course if we are talking about that, it is $42.5 billion in market cap. We would be sitting at around, if we're talking about the holdings currently in the market, we would be sitting at number 5 almost currently. Now I just want you all to understand that a lot of the tokens within this space at around the top tier numbers, in the top 10 at least, we're sitting at about almost $100 billion in valuation at some point in time for market cap. And if we're talking more so about $100 billion, we'd be sitting at about 7.4 billion, or sorry, 7.4 K per QNT, or $100 billion in market cap, an upside of 50x. Do I think that this is going to happen? It's hard to say. I think that it's going to take a little bit more time to actually get to these levels. I've been seeing a lot of people say $10,000 is going to happen this cycle. It's hard to say. I mean, honestly, it could happen. I've seen, crazier things like Dogecoin go into 73 cents, for an example. And if we're talking more so about Dogecoin at around like 70 cents, we know that we were at, $92.9 billion in market cap. I think that the all-time high is like 94 cents, or not 94 cents, 74 cents, something around that level. And honestly, if we achieve those levels, I mean, it's going to be pretty significant, and it's going to be very close to those numbers anyways. I mean, honestly, $100 billion is really not that crazy to, put a valuation on QNT at that price point. But of course, am I, thinking that that is a realistic price target for us? It's a little shaky, I know, because we are still very early in terms of QNT. But we also have to watch Bitcoin closely here, because, if Bitcoin doesn't have this nice strong break above 44K and has that nice impulse to around 50K plus, really, there's not too much to look forward to this market. But of course, I do have a nice long-term viewpoint on QNT. That's why I said, $30,000 is inevitable at some point in time, and I do truly believe that. If we're talking about Ethereum's market cap and stuff like that. So let me actually refresh this. Sorry. So there you guys have it at like 27.9K, and of course, we always discuss this being a $1 trillion asset. If we are talking more so about $1 trillion, we're looking at like 74.5K, an upside of like 507x, which is crazy. But Realistically speaking, is that really that crazy to think about? Because it's really not to me. Especially with what QNT is focused on, specifically this. So QNT's ODAP, how a digital euro, and also, a digital pound and a digital dollar fit into the equation. And we do see QNT in cooperation builds the gateways and protocol as the internet draft standards with, of course, the IETF. And I want you to all listen to this closely because this is actually a good, overall, I would say, breakdown of QNT and what they're really kind of building here.
A payment system or a capital market system. They're all going to have gateways. They're all going to connect to a larger digital asset network of networks. There's lots of names for this that people have been testing: Internet of Money, Internet of Value. Eventually, it is going to be a network of networks, and here you can have true cross-network interoperability between the different types of systems. You've got true market access to new markets, new customers, cross-border trade. It's interoperable, with the existing systems. It complements the existing systems. And what ODAP is looking to do is to create the bridge and the links between the financial systems of today. Using the gateways, you can actually find, identify, routes to the different types of digital assets that are held across different systems, using the network as a means to identify, find, and know where these digital assets are, which issuer issued them, who holds them, and how to transact and trade between them whilst maintaining, all the regulatory compliance that is needed across jurisdictions. And you can even use this network to be able to do private transactions. So you can connect two domestic payment systems up exclusively and say, I would like to do a cross-border transaction between a digital pound and a digital dollar, and interconnecting those through the network, through the digital asset network. And even, corporate finance, you can create and expose your internal assets to external networks, so you can have a resource that's exclusively yours, accessed by others, traded by others, and allowing this network of networks to create this vast ecosystem.
And honestly, if that doesn't make you bullish, I really don't know what else will. Becoming the network of networks, being able to connect everything to one, being able to have that interoperable bridge between, for example, the digital euro. I don't know why I keep trying to call it the digital euro, the digital pound, and the digital dollar. I mean, at some point in time, also the digital euro as well. But again, if we're talking about this interoperable bridge, the network of networks, this is endgame. Being able to connect everything to one network. I always call it the operating system of tomorrow just because, from my viewpoint, that's exactly how bullish this actually is. I'm just very excited to see this come to fruition. Let me know what you guys think, though, down in the comments below. Of course, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. And this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.